She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. I know some of y'all probably like, girl, where you been? Oh my gosh, y'all. Y'all know what? I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I was contemplating quitting YouTube. I was like, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore. Sometimes we be doing these YouTubes and you come across a lot of unkind people, people that just say a lot of stuff, and you just be like questioning yourself of, should I keep doing this? Is it worth it? Should I continue on? And I just started to contemplate, should I stay? Should I continue to do this, or should I just shut down my YouTube, y'all? I was about to shut it down. And your girl was out here traveling into Africa, going all kinds of places. I've been so busy with life, and I really started feeling a little down about YouTube. That's why I have been gone for like 3 months, because, sometimes we put a lot of work, we invest our time into this. I know I don't do any editing on my videos, but when we come live and we spend our hours doing these videos and we come across so many unkind people who say things, you feel a little bit discouraged. But over the weeks, I've been seeing some of my people that I love and adore. Hi, Christina. Hi, Robert. Hi, Diana. Hi, my beautiful people. But see, you people that are in the chat, you guys are the people that I really love and adore. And I realize, you know what? Even though we may come across people who aren't so friendly, there's people like you guys that I really love and adore. And I realize I owe you guys a duty to still be here and do content. So your girl's back, but I may not do videos every day because I am a full-time attorney. So my career is very demanding, but when I have time, I will do videos. I would like for you guys to give input too, though. I need y'all to help a sister out, to let me know what videos you would like to see. If you see a story and you want me to react to it or talk about it, let me know. Put it in the messages, put it on the comments, and I will look into the story as well. I'd have missed you guys so much. Hi, Laura. I know I was going to leave, but I miss you too, Robert. I miss all of you guys. I wasn't going to leave YouTube, but I kept seeing beautiful comments from a lot of the people that are my family here on YouTube. And they kept saying, come back, I miss you. And I was like, you know what? I owe it to y'all to keep doing content. You guys came here. You guys have been faithful, loyal, and committed. And I feel really bad leaving and not letting you guys know what's going on with me. I had a lot going on. I was traveling. I haven't really been around either. I've been traveling all over the place, y'all. And busy with work and busy with national title and a full-time attorney. But on top of that, it was just getting the mean comments. Sometimes it gets a little tiring because we do devote our time to coming on here. And when you see people like that on there, sometimes it could be a little discouraging, guys. Hi, Alicia. Missed you, girl. Hi. Okay, guys. So we're going to start out this live and start our lives back a little lightweight today, but I really wanted to come talk about this because, as I told you, I've been traveling out of the country a lot, so this story hit home for me, and I kind of want to talk to y'all about it to get your input. Hi, Robert. Why does everyone go to a foreign country end up missing? Right, that's why I want to talk about this, y'all. The reason why I'm here talking about this particular case is because I told y'all I've been traveling, right? So when I heard about this girl, y'all, this is crazy. This girl on the screen, man, this is sad. And I'm not feeling too good about what possibly might have happened to this young lady. But y'all, I told y'all I've been out here traveling. So this case really touched me. She went to Guatemala. And it turns out this young lady goes to Guatemala all the time for these yoga retreats. And as y'all know, we get really busy with our work. And we can be pretty stressed out with our jobs, right? So we want to travel, we want to go on vacation, we want to live our best life. I've been doing that, traveling to different countries, thinking we live in our best life. But you guys, there are people turning up missing. Y'all, people are dying. And it's this one is in Guatemala. And I've covered some of these stories that were happening in Mexico. But I saw this one and it really hit home for me because I just, I traveled to Africa. And, sometimes we're like, oh, we're living our best life traveling. And y'all, you don't know what's going on in these other foreign countries. And especially she went by herself. I mean, she went there to go be with a group of yoga individuals there, but she went to this trip by herself. And sometimes we get so confident, when we go travel to these places, not realizing the dangers that are lurking. And I really don't feel too good about this happening, y'all. This is crazy. Hi, Tavia. Hey, love. I missed all of you guys. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Robert already said hi to Robert. Hazel, all my people. Y'all, I know, Tavia, girl. We have been talking about this a few months back. It's getting crazy, Robert. So let's talk about this story. And I want to hear your input, what you guys think about what happened to this girl, y'all. She is Nancy. I can't say her last name because I don't want y'all coming for me, but she's 29 years old and she lived in California. Man, she haven't even reached 30 yet, y'all. She had a home in Monterey Park in California. And on October, she attended this week-long trip in Guatemala, y'all. And I'm like, what's going on in these foreign countries? I'm a little worried. It doesn't sound good, too. I'll show you a video that I found that doesn't really sound good. They're actually searching bodies of water. And when you go missing in these foreign countries, y'all, there is a less likelihood that you're going to be found. That's the problem. You will have a better chance of being found if you're lost in the United States versus if you're lost in a country or if you go missing. You guys already know what happened to that young lady. We just now found out the guy confessed to killing that young girl from decades ago. I guess she went on a high school. I forgot her name. Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about. That young lady who went on a senior trip and the guy, he beat her to death and killed her and threw her in the water. Well, he just confessed to that. But I mean, we have been waiting for decades trying to figure out what happened to this young girl. So, when you go to these foreign countries, it's guys, I mean, it's a less chance you're going to be found because the U.S. doesn't have much access to these foreign countries. A lot of those foreign countries, they don't have all the resources that we have in America to do these searches. And they're not going to really take the effort to really look for these people, to be honest. Because number one, they don't probably have the skills and the expertise and all the resources. And they really aren't going to try to go through all this. Because if she is found deceased, that's going to be a detractor from people wanting to visit this particular location, y'all. So it's a hot mess. But let's get into it. California yoga enthusiast Nancy, I'm not going to say her last name, NG, is missing after a trip to Guatemala as her family says getting information is a living hell. And that is a common statement that I'm hearing from individuals that go missing in other countries, that when they're trying to navigate the system in those foreign countries, it's a living hell. And I'm hearing that from all these different people. Look at what happened to Shanquella Robinson. When she went missing, or she didn't go missing. You already know what happened to her. She was beat to death. Allegedly, but that's not even allegedly. She was beat to death, okay? Y'all already know what happened with the family trying to even find her body and then trying to get her shipped back here to America. Y'all, it's a living hell. That's the common theme. So you really have to do your research when you're traveling. And I wouldn't suggest going by yourself unless you are going there to be with somebody you seriously know and trust, maybe a family member, close friend, somebody in that country. Nancy NG, 29, left her home in Monterey Park, California on October 14th. That's disturbing, guys. She left October 14th. What is today? Today is November 5th. It's been almost a month since she's been gone. What do you guys think happened to this girl? I'm not trying to be negative, but I'm just saying it's almost a month since she's been missing. To attend a week-long trip at Lake Attilan, I ain't even saying that name right? Her family says on October 19th, her family stopped hearing from her. Oh, Lord. Y'all, this is not sounding good. Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. Diana said it. Diana said it. That's what her name is. Natalie Holloway. Yeah, you guys already heard about Natalie Holloway. It took a hot minute to figure out what happened to her. So that's a prime example to you when you travel out of the country. Just know the risks involved and you take safety measures because the US is not going to have much resources to find you if you go missing. But anywho, this young lady went missing October 19th. We're now in November 5th. So it's not looking good. That's when they stopped hearing from her. And the person organizing the retreat said they couldn't find her. I'm worried because, Americans are targeted in other countries. That's something we need to talk about. When you go to these other countries, you have basically a red flag over your head. You have to understand that you're a target. People see you as having money, riches, so forth. So you become victimized in a lot of ways. I know when I went to Africa, y'all know they stole my money. Hot mess. I had my stuff in a hotel, and why did that lady go in there? The cleaning lady, she went up in my stuff, found my money, and stole it. That's what I'm saying. You become a target when you leave the U.S. They see you as rich. They see you as all kinds of stuff. So you really have to take precaution. And this young lady went missing. I wonder what happened. So even worse, her family has been unable to get any details from the day she disappeared or make contact with anyone who saw her that day. The family of a California woman is going through a living hell after she disappeared in Guatemala while attending a yoga retreat, and they have been trying to get information. They have been basically stopped from getting information. And why do we hear this in most of these stories? Every time somebody goes missing in a different country, why is it that the families cannot get information? If you guys go back to our other stories we talked about the Mexico cases, a lot of those families were complaining that they can't get information. That's another concern, which is why a lot of U.S. citizens are saying it's a living hell when their family members go missing in other countries. Nancy, she left her home on October 15th and she went missing. So she had been in Guatemala for 5 days before she went missing. Oh, that's like a worst fear of people traveling is this type of situation. And she's an active yoga practitioner, and that's why she went there. And she attended the same retreat the previous year. So it seems like she had gone to this place a year ago. So she became comfortable. So sometimes we'll go to these different countries and we've gone there multiple times. Then you start getting a little comfortable. And so you start letting that guard down. And you think you can live freely and just enjoy your life. No, you have to always know this, whenever you leave the US, you are taking a risk every time. Every time. It's a dangerous thing. And I'm not saying don't travel, yes, but do your research, take extra precaution at all times, because you are always taking a significant risk when you leave the country. And you're always a target. Just know that no matter what other place you go to and visit, you're always a target. You have a target on your back. So you always have to watch your belongings, be careful where you're going. You're not familiar with these places. And so she had went there a year ago. So I believe she let her guard down, got a little bit too comfortable, and stopped taking the precautions that she might have took the year before, which kept her alive that year before. Okay. And when she went this year before, her sister said that she had enjoyed it so much she wanted to go again. But the thing I found a little bit alarming about this is that she traveled by herself to a foreign country. I don't know. I know people do it all the time. So I know people going to come for me in the chat and say, hey, I go traveling by myself all the time. A lot of people do it. That's fine. If you're going to go by yourself, like I said, really do your research. I don't recommend it. I think it's more dangerous when you go by yourself because you're going to a foreign country you're not familiar with. But if you're going to do that, really do your research. Really, really make sure that you know where you're going and you're checking the government websites to see if the place is safe, where are the danger zones. This young lady was in a tourist area, so you would think she'd be safe. But even in the tourist area, you can find yourself endangered. Now, on October 19th, her family stopped hearing from her, and the person organizing the retreat said they couldn't find the young yoga enthusiast. Even worse, her family had been unable to get any details from the day she disappeared, y'all, or make contact with anyone who saw her. That is another issue that I find in these foreign countries when you go missing, y'all. When you go missing, there tends to be no witnesses that have seen you, or if they are, you can't find them, or they're sketchy. They don't give much information. And then we end up in a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year long investigation trying to figure out what happened. Now, I'm praying some way, somehow, they figure out what happened to this young girl, but it's seeming like it's going to go down that trap of Natalee Holloway. Hi, Prima. Hi, Cookie, PM channel. All my people, what's up? I've missed y'all. Okay. Right. Like Cookie said, when you don't know the culture that well, it's easier to fall for traps and scams in my experience. Right. And I don't know if you guys, I know you guys have traveled in the chat. Did y'all have any experiences that you had when you traveled in other countries that you want to share that can help us take precaution? Because I told y'all mine, that I was so free flowing thinking, oh, my stuff is safe in my hotel room. And I got a rude awakening the very first day I was there. I was like, oh no. After that, I took my stuff everywhere I went. Everywhere I went. And the managers and all them, they were all in on it. So they didn't say anything. So it's just when you go, you have a target on your back. So it's good for us to talk about these cases to make sure we take precautions, because like I said, when you go missing, it is extremely difficult for the U.S. to launch an investigation. And a lot of these foreign countries are not going to take the effort to look for you. The witnesses are very vague or few. And if they are, they're not really helpful. So a lot of these individuals, if there was a crime that occurred in this situation, is hard to find. And if she was found lost in a body of water, there's probably, I say, a 10% chance she's going to be found, because they don't have the resources that the U.S. have. So a lot of times if they go missing in bodies of water, they're never found. Look what happened to Natalee Holloway. Allegedly, this guy who confessed to us said he threw her in the ocean or whatever. He threw her in the body of water or whatever at the beach. But till this day, this young lady's body was never found. It seems like when individuals go missing in bodies of water in foreign countries, they're never found. And if she did go missing in a body of water, with the resources that these locations have, and a lot of them don't even really want to make all that effort to find these people anyway, because they don't want to put a target on their back. If she's found dead, that's going to deter people from wanting to go to Guatemala. So they're going to not try to do too much. They're going to make it, they want it to be vague, as if, oh, we don't know where she is. Oh, we don't know. Because they'd rather it be that versus someone say she was murdered, she was robbed, she was this, she was that. They don't want that to come out, because that's going to deter people from wanting to come to Guatemala. So they'd rather it be vague and no one know what happened to her. Let it be a mystery, which is an incentive for these different foreign countries to not exert any resources to try to find your butt if you end up missing, deceased, targeted by someone, robbed. I'm just saying, you have to really take significant precaution when you travel. You got to do a thorough research. I recommend going with a tour guide or a tour agency. I would recommend that. Someone who is an expert in that area, who knows that area, who can take you to the safe spots, the safe restaurants, the safe everything. Someone who can keep you safe. That's why I say a tour guide is like the safest thing, because they know the area. And if they're very highly recommended, they have high credentials, you've looked them up, you research them, that's the safest way to go, because they know that's their hometown. They know where to go, where not to go, and so forth. The last 2 weeks have been a living hell, as her family says, because when we first got the news that she was missing, we just had so many questions. Her sister Nancy told KTLA. And here is a picture we already seen of her here. The young lady is so sad. That is just so sad. So let's take a look at this video here and find out more details.
Now at 5:30. A former Cal State LA student is missing in Guatemala. Her family desperate for answers after she disappeared just days into a yoga retreat. And no one has heard from Nancy Ng in over 2 weeks. And right now, there is a search and rescue operation that's underway to find her.
Yeah, let's go right to Rachel Menitoff. She's in Alhambra tonight, where she spoke with the family and the people that are spearheading that rescue effort. Rachel.
Rick, Corrine, good evening to you both. Nancy now works for the Alhambra Unified School District. She typically lives a busy lifestyle and went on this retreat to take some time for herself. She was reported missing on October 19th, and her family says the worst part of it all is not knowing where she is or what happened that day. For the second year in a row, 29-year-old Nancy Ng traveled to Guatemala for a week-long yoga retreat. She left on October 14th, and just a few days into her trip, her family says the organizer called to say she was missing. The details of her disappearance, though, are few and far between.
The last 2 weeks have been like a living hell. Because when we first got the news that she was missing, we just had so many questions.
Nancy's sister says she was staying on Lake Atitlan, a pretty large body of water within a volcanic crater and a popular place for tourist getaways.
Like last year, she woke up every morning just to spend some time there by herself without the group. And this year was going to be more exciting because they had planned activities on the lake.
The Ng family has since reached out to the State Department, the FBI, and local representatives. They're also working with a private search and rescue team in Guatemala, which has searched about 95% of the lake by air and land with divers and drones.
We don't know where she went missing, because there's no corroboration of that. We've got a rough idea, but it varies from one side of the lake to the other.
Chris Sharp is the co-owner of Black Wolf Helicopters. He says primary witnesses, people who may have been with Nancy the day she disappeared, haven't been forthcoming, and that's thrown a wrench in his investigation.
One of the family members said she might have been kidnapped the day before. She might be somewhere else. We just don't know, because we're lacking that vital information.
Red flag number one, y'all. Red flag number one. Why are the people that allegedly went with her on the lake aren't forthcoming? It sounds like something fishy is going on with the people that was with her on this yoga retreat, because they're acting weird. I'm even kind of sketchy about the whole instructor. What really happened? And this guy who's speaking is saying that they don't know where she went in the water. So this is telling me, y'all, that something happened when they were all, on this lake together doing these events. Because the last year she went, she was going different places by herself. That alone was a red flag to me. I don't feel comfortable going into somebody's foreign country, y'all, going by myself. I'm sorry. Me personally, I'm extra cautious. I just don't feel safe with that. When I went to Africa, I went with people, and I just couldn't imagine myself going by myself to places, number one. But she did last year, and she came out alive. So obviously she took precautions. But this year is a little fishy, you guys, because she went with these people. They had some events on the lake. And this gentleman's talking about he doesn't know where she went in the lake. So he's telling me that this girl ended up in that lake. And I'm wondering if the people that were with her know more than what they're claiming. This is the problem in these foreign countries. When you go to these places, like I said, the witnesses are far in between. The people who even witnessed the incident are hesitant to speak because there might be authorities that are deterring them from speaking, because if an incident happened with this girl, they don't want people to know, because they don't want people to get alarmed about Guatemala and not want to travel there. Now, I like what Cookie said about travel trips. This is some good stuff that she said. Try not to dress flashy. That's a good point. Have transportation prearranged. Yes. Let someone in your group and at home know your itinerary exactly. And if you deviate, don't be out after dark. That's true. And make sure you research the areas you're going, because there's different areas in those countries that may not be safe. So some parts are the safe tourist areas, and there's certain areas that are more dangerous. And if you're not familiar with that country and you end up in one of those areas and they know you're a foreigner, you stick out, guys. You guys stick out as a sore thumb. I know you might think you blend in because you're wearing regular casual clothes. You stick out, okay? You just stick out. It's unfortunate. You can try to blend in, you're going to stick out. And you will have a target on your back, because anytime they see an American, they see dollar signs and whatever else they see. But this story to me is really fishy with the people that went with her on this lake. It makes me think that something happened on that lake, very tragic. And now they know what happened. That's what I feel, is the people that were with her know what happened, but they're being fishy and they're not saying anything about it. And that's the alarming thing about going to these foreign countries, because you'll end up in situations like this and probably never be found. But let's keep going.
Nancy is the eldest of 4 siblings. She's a devoted daughter and now works for the school system, assisting students with disabilities. Her family remains determined to find her.
I guess my role here is to just make sure that no stone is left unturned, make sure that we try everything we can possible.
We just want her to know that we love her so much and we just really want to bring her home.
And the FBI sent us a statement saying the Guatemalan government is taking the lead on the investigation, but it's working closely with them. Nancy's family is also privately funding a search and rescue team. They set up a GoFundMe page and ask anyone who's able to donate.
Now at 5:30.
And another thing I'd recommend too is check in with the U.S. Embassy when you get into these different countries to let them know where you are, what hotel you are. And there's an app that you can get download, and you would check in and let them know what country let the U.S. government know what country you're at, and they will alarm you if there's any dangers around. They will send you a message if there's any concerns too that you can do. But let's go out and see if there's any more information about this. So they said, what happened? Where is she now, y'all? Where is the girl at? Is there a chance she's alive? We didn't know anything, she added. Guys, it's not looking too bright that she's alive. I'm just saying. Angie works at a local school district helping students with disabilities, is active in yoga, and she travels in her personal life. Nikki said her sister found real healing and peace on the previous year's trip she held near a large body of water located within a volcanic crater and was so excited to go again. She was saying it was so beautiful, she recalled. Last year, she woke up every morning just to spend time by herself without the group. And this year she went with them. And the NG family has attempted to try and get the State Department, the FBI, and local officials to help. And that's the thing. People think, oh, we're going to get the U.S. officials to help us. You guys, I know we have some great, officers and officials and FBI and everything. But I'm telling you, they have limited resources when they're trying to navigate in these foreign countries. They just do. That's why they always warn us when we travel to check those travel advisories, do your research, take safety precautions, because they really do. The FBI, the State Department, the local officials, the U.S. Embassy, guys, they have limited access over there. They have to work with those foreign countries to try to locate your butt if you end up missing, y'all. And I'm telling you, a lot of those foreign countries are shady. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to talk bad about foreign countries. I love every country across the world. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, a lot of times when a U.S. citizen goes missing, they don't really want to broadcast it because they don't want to deter future tourists from coming there. And not just U.S. citizens. Like if any other person from a different country goes missing in their country, they really don't want to broadcast that because they don't want to deter people from coming to that particular location. They've also hired a team in Guatemala that does search and rescue missions. Okay, so they hired somebody within Guatemala. That's pretty good. And have used divers and drones to try to locate her. Now, I wonder how are these individuals that are using the divers and drones, how skilled are they in doing this? Because I'm really feeling worried they're not going to find this girl. They say they've scored about 95% of that lake. 95%, you guys. Look at this is the lake right here that they think she's missing it. Now, this is what makes me think, you guys, that the people that went with her know more than what they're saying. I think they told the government officials and the authorities what happened. But the issue, I think, what's going on in this case is that the government in Guatemala does not want to divulge that information. It sounds real sketchy. Now, who are these people who went with her? And how come they didn't help this girl when she went into the water? What's really going on? What is really going on? I like what Tavia said here. Don't travel solo, at least one other person. I agree with you, Tavia. You have a better chance if you go with somebody, you have another person than traveling by yourself. Tavia's right. I mean, I know a lot of people do travel by themselves and they go fine, but I mean, they come out fine. But if you're going to do that, just know you're even more at risk and you need to really research. You do. Because you set yourself up even more if you go by yourself. And that makes her a target because she's more vulnerable. People see she's by herself. She's a target. Her family has been able to get any details from the day she disappeared or made contact with anyone who saw her. That's a key theme that you have to understand. If you go missing, your family's going to have a hard time finding you. It's going to cause a lot more stress and anxiety on them and on you because you're really in a severe danger when you're in these other countries by yourself because you don't have the U.S. government to really be at your fingertips all the time. You have the U.S. embassy there, but again, they can't. Once you go missing in this foreign country, guys, they're going to have less resources to try to find you. So here she is in this picture here when she was in Guatemala. I believe this was probably a prior picture of her there. So here's a picture. Sweet girl. It's really sad. I really would wish that this story comes out positive, but I don't know. They said they don't know where she went missing because there's no corroboration of that. Yeah, because I don't think the government over there is trying to release that information. I really think they know more than what they're saying, y'all. I do. Okay. So this guy, Chris Sharp, is saying that he runs the Black Wolf helicopters, and he's a part of the search. They said they got a rough idea, but it varies from one side of the lake to the other. So it looks like this girl drowned. It doesn't look like she's alive. That's what they're hinting to, guys, because they keep talking about this lake. And I feel like the people that were with her know more than what they're saying. They probably have shared this information with authorities, but the authorities are not going to share that information with us because they don't want to alarm us. Okay, that's what I really think. Y'all let me know in the chat what y'all think. The most difficult part of the investigation, Sharp says, is the people who may have interacted with Nancy on October 14th. See right here, the most difficult part of the investigation. Look at this, guys. Is the people who may have interacted with her on October 14th when she vanished have not been open with any details. Look at that right there. Why have the people that were with her weren't open with her? This is the problem, you guys. When you travel by yourself, right? You go to this retreat. She was with a bunch of people that she did not know. Who knows who was on this retreat? There could have been murderers. There could have been sex offenders. We don't know. She didn't know. And she went by herself. And she, unlike the year before, she trusted these people and some of these people may not have been safe. And if, let's say, for example, these people who are on this trip are all from Guatemala and she's this foreigner and she's all by herself in this foreign country. Let's just get that example. I don't know who was on this trip. I don't know if it was people from all over the world or if this was just people from Guatemala. I don't know. But let's just say, and they know she's by herself. That makes her a target, guys. And who knows if somebody didn't conspire to rob this girl, throw her in the lake, and then now they're not being forthcoming. That's the shady part about it. I don't feel good about the retreat, period, because it feels like the people that were on this retreat have something to do with this girl's disappearance, in my opinion, because why are they not being forthcoming in the details? That's some shady stuff. That sounds like consciousness of guilt to me when they're not being forthcoming in what happened to this girl. And they said, we just don't know because we're lacking the vital information. They don't seem to really care about the people who are on this trip, don't seem to really care about finding this girl because they're not sharing the information. Why is it that when people go missing in these foreign countries, we have people who are alleged witnesses or so forth that aren't really helpful? I wonder why, because that seems to be a common theme in these cases, y'all. NG's partner, now she has a boyfriend. This is sad. Jared Lopez launched a GoFundMe to help pay for all the search and rescue missions. Oh no, y'all. She got a boyfriend too. Man, that poor man over here is stressing probably. Here she is here. Sweet young lady from California. That's sad. Nikki said her sister found healing and peace on the previous trip. And I wonder if she has a partner. How come she didn't go with her boyfriend to this trip? That's the question I have. Okay. Angie's partner, Jared Lopez. So she had a boyfriend, Jared Lopez. How come Lopez did not go on this trip? I'm just saying. Because I would think they would share the same hobby together of this yoga. Even if they didn't, I mean, you go there to support her. I don't know, y'all. That sounds real weird to me. Not that girlfriends can't go to trips by themselves, and not that boyfriends can't go to trips by themselves. But I'm just saying, she's going to a foreign country, whatever. I would think her man would want to go there just to be a support system, make sure she's okay. I'm just saying. Okay. Anyway, Sharp says a few details equals a larger amount of possibilities as to what could have happened to Angie. We just want her to know that we love her so much. The FBI told local reporters they are supporting Guatemala officials in the search, and time is of the essence. And it's been an ongoing nightmare not knowing what happened to her. All the family wants to bring is their sister back home. So that's the story that essentially we are talking about today. I really want to hear from you guys what you guys think about this story, because I really think we should talk about these traveling to different countries because in the dangers involved. Not that it's a bad thing to travel. It's just making sure that you take precautions and some safety measures. Now, what I wanted to do, guys, is I want to talk a little bit about the travel advisory regarding Guatemala, since we're talking about Guatemala. It would be good to look into if it's a safe place, because I've never been there. Now, look at this, guys. This is absolutely disturbing, okay? Look at this. Look at this. This is the thing I was telling you about. When you travel, make sure you check the travel advisories. Look at this, guys. This is crazy. Guatemala is level 3 for the travel advisory. Level 3 means reconsider travel. That is alarming. That is alarming. It's one color close to being do not travel. So Guatemala is considered a place where they're saying reconsider even going there. They're basically saying you really shouldn't go there. That's what they're saying. Now let's read the details of what reconsider travel to Guatemala means. It means reconsider travel to Guatemala due to crime. You see this? Due to crime. Some areas have increased risk. Did you see this? So she's going to a place where the travel advisory says to reconsider even going there in the first place, and there's increased crime over there. And to top it off, she's going there by herself. She doesn't know the people that are at this retreat. We don't know if there was a robber at this retreat, a murderer, somebody, you don't know, or a group of people that were just period. Okay, we don't know who was on this trip with her. This is the thing. A lot of us go to these foreign countries and we don't take the time to look at the travel advisory. And this travel advisory to me is alarming. I don't know. If I saw this, even if it's yellow, I would reconsider. Now look what's going on. They said don't travel to San Marcos department except the city of San Marcos due to crime. I don't know what this other name. I can't pronounce it. Hutenango due to crime in zone 18. Country summary. They said violent crimes such as extortion, murder, armed robbery, carjacking, narcotics trafficking, and gang activity are common in Guatemala. Now, if she would have read this, do you think she really would have been wanting to go there by herself? I honestly don't think so. But a lot of times we don't take the time to even read these travel advisories. We just think of how beautiful these places are that we're going to go, and we don't even think twice to check this travel advisory. I'm sorry. If I would have read this, guys, you wouldn't be seeing me book no trip to Guatemala. I don't care how beautiful the yoga retreat is. And to top it off by myself. And I told you, when you're an American, you have a target on your back. So you see this travel advisory and it's saying there's violent crimes such as extortion. Look at that, because they already see money signs when they see you, dollar signs when you come into those countries. Now there's murder and there's armed robbery. And she's by herself with these people she does not know. And now everybody don't want to say anything. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Okay, let's keep reading because this is crazy. There's gang activity common in Guatemala. Local police may lack the resources to respond effectively to criminal incidents, resulting in a low arrest and conviction rate. Check that out, a low arrest and conviction rate. Here's another issue that we deal with in some of these foreign countries. Their officers lack the resources. Look what they're saying right here. The resources and they lack the ability to effectively respond to criminal incidents, which means low arrest and low conviction. So they're not going to be exerting the resources you see in America to try to find these suspects, if there are any. And I think there are. I suspect this was a murder, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Robbery and a murder. That's what I think. And I think the people that went on this retreat know exactly what happened, but that's why they're not being forthcoming. And the thing is, the officers there lack resources, and they're not going to exert resources to find a foreigner. Okay, they're not going to do that. So what happens is this case goes unsolved, and it's like common what we see in a lot of these foreign countries. That's alarming, guys. That's alarming. You have to understand the dangers that go along with traveling. It's a beautiful thing to travel, but you have to really look at it for what it is and be very cautious when you go, okay? But this is alarming when it says resulting in low arrest and low conviction. So that means because it results in low arrest and low conviction, there is really no deterrence for people to commit these crimes against foreigners when they come into their country. There's none. There's no deterrence. So they have free reign, especially if you're a foreigner, because as the officers are even going to be even more or less likely to come for you and look for you, okay? Guatemala's National Tourist Assistance Program provides 24-hour emergency assistance and routine guidance to tourists. So if you were to read this, it would tell you who the people you should call. They have the Guatemala National Tourist Assistance Program. Remember, I told you to find a tourist program. So if you're going to go to these countries or locations, get a tourist organization that is highly recognized. And here, this is where it is. They're saying this is the Guatemala National Tourist Assistance Program. And they're the ones that have 24-hour emergency assistance, routine guidance. The call center is staffed with Spanish and English speakers, and can be reached by calling the 24/7 number. And they got the number here to go. So if she would have looked at this advisory, she would have had this number. But again, I would have been stopped at the yellow here, reconsider travel. That's just me. If I saw yellow, I'm not going there. There's plenty of other countries and across this whole entire world that I can go to that are not in the yellow and that are not in the red, okay? That are in the blue, okay? If it's in the blue or in the this little cream color, okay. You know, and increased caution, I'm still a little bit hesitant. I'm still a little bit nervous. Okay, I'm just saying. But let's keep going. U.S. government personnel and family members are prohibited from traveling throughout the above mentioned areas for personnel travel, but are permitted to travel throughout the rest of Guatemala. Now, check this out. If the U.S. government is prohibited and their family members are prohibited from traveling to these areas in Guatemala, how much more should you be over there? That should be a huge red flag for you if you have the government saying they're not even going to go there and their family members can't even go there. If I see that, I'm definitely not going there, okay? Now, they are permitted to travel throughout the rest of Guatemala, including tourist destinations such as, now the one that she went to was this Lake Atalen. So let's take a look at Lake Atalen because that's where she was. They said if you decide to travel to Guatemala, let's read. When traveling to Lake Atalen, and this, I can't say that name, but this is where she was. Use certified tourist providers. Look at that. Remember I told you guys to find a tourist provider? They're saying if you go to Lake Atalen, this is the place where she went. They told the people that go there to use certified tourist providers, and she didn't do that, allegedly, because they're saying she went there by herself. So she didn't comply with the advisory to say use certified tourist providers and travel between villages on the lakeshore by chartered boat, as perimeter paths pose a serious, look at this, guys. This is where she went. They said a perimeter paths pose a serious risk, a serious crime risk. Look at that. This place where she went, which was a tourist area, has serious crime risk in certain areas when you're traveling in that area. So this is what I'm thinking happened. This young lady, she didn't have a travel provider. Number one, she went by herself. She got comfortable because she went last year. So she thought, oh, I'm good. I went last year. I know this place. I'm familiar. I got this. And they're telling her on this travel advisor to use chartered boats. Who knows if she did that, right? Who knows? Because they said as perimeter paths pose a serious crime risk. Look at that. That number one, and are not easily accessible by emergency services. That's alarming, guys. That is absolutely alarming. Hiking in the area, while popular, is best undertaken with the assistance of a local guide to ensure safety. Look at this, guys. As criminals are known to target some routes. This is alarming. This is absolutely alarming. And I'm telling you, I don't think this young lady looked at this before going. I think she became comfortable because she went last year and everything was fine. Just because you go to a place and everything's fine one year, you don't know what can happen the next time you go. Every time you leave the country, you have to understand your risk of safety is elevated. It is elevated. And the first thing you should do before you even book a flight is go to that travel advisory and study it inside and out before you even think to book that flight. And I don't think this young lady did this. And this travel advisory to me is scaring the daylights out of me. And I'm just saying, I would not even consider going to Guatemala. I'm sorry, I wouldn't go. It don't sound like a safe place to me. Okay. They said when visiting Pacific Coast beaches or resorts in Santa Rosa and Escatula departments, arrange travel through hotels, resorts, and charters. Let's just skip over that. They said visitors are strongly advised to avoid swimming in the Pacific Ocean since currents and undertows are strong and beaches lack adequate lifeguards or emergency response. Here's another concern that I noticed in foreign countries because I've been traveling, guys. They don't have all the lifeguards and safety response that you have in the U.S. if you go missing on somewhere. They don't have that over there. So if you out there swimming in the ocean and living your best life, just know that you are going there significantly at your own risk. And there's not going to be a lifeguard or a rescue team that you see in the U.S. that's going to come out and save you. If you go in that ocean, you are the only person, unless you have a family member or a friend there with you. You guys are the only people out there that's going to be able to save anybody if something happens. I don't recommend going into busy bodies of water when you travel. Like if you go to like a different country, I don't recommend going into the Pacific Ocean, trying to go in. Those currents are crazy. Even the people that live there, the local people that live in these foreign countries know that. And they don't even go into I remember I went to Africa and I traveled. And I went by and saw the beautiful beach. It was just gorgeous. And I noticed nobody went into that. Nobody went into that ocean, y'all. Nobody stepped foot. And I was like, why are people in there? And some of the locals was telling me, look at how the currents over there are really, really, really powerful. So they don't go into it. They just, they'll sit on the sand, enjoy themselves, but they don't go and step into the water because of how heavy the currents are. So I just have to warn you about that because a lot of times in the U.S., we live our best lives here. We have all these resources. We have lifeguards. We have everybody that can come out. But no, they don't have that over there. So when you go over there and you just thinking you're living your best life, it's not. They're saying it right here. Now, here's another thing, too. There's another risk. I think we should read this because these are actually safety precautions that we can take in other countries if we travel. Visitors should not leave drinks unattended in bars and restaurants, and are advised to decline invitations from strangers to private parties or gatherings. That's another thing that we noticed. Like that's what happened with Miss Holloway. They get so comfortable in these foreign countries. There was another young lady actually who met some guy on a Tinder date. She went to a foreign country, met a guy on Tinder date in foreign country. And we get so comfortable and we do these invitations to go to parties and stuff. And that's how people go missing and end up unalived too. So that's another thing. it's great that you read these because these are actually safety precautions we can take in general. Okay. Now they said, consider staying in hotels or other lodging facilities that offer secure parking, doormen, and a dedicated and professional security staff. Request security escorts, which are available for tourist groups from the Guatemalan Tourist Institute. Look at that. Guatemalan Tourist Institute. That's why I recommend if you go to these foreign countries, go to a national or certified tourist organization and set up that traveling with them. That is the best chance for you to be safe in these areas. Be aware of your surroundings and avoid walking or driving at night. Do not take radio dispatch taxis, NGOT approved taxis from the safe. Oh, sorry, they say do take. Sorry, I misread that. Do take radio dispatched taxis or NGOT approved taxis from the safe. Do not take public transportation, including white car taxis. U.S. government personnel and their family members are prohibited from using these forms of transportation. This is a huge red flag. When you see them say U.S. government officials and their family members cannot take public transportation or white car taxis, that means you too should not be doing that. That's a red flag when you see them say stuff like that. You should highlight that, put that in bold, underline it. That means you shouldn't be doing it either, okay? Do not attempt to hike walking trails or volcanoes without the services of a qualified local guide. And the issue that I have with this case is this young lady, she went around all these places and local places by herself. That's a huge no-no. She got lucky last year that she was revived. She got really lucky. And so when she went this year, she lessened her guard this even more. And that's what ended up causing this tragedy. Okay. They said, don't take hiking trails or volcanoes without the service of a local guide. You need that. You need a qualified local guide, a tourist guide. Robberies are commonplace and emergency response is lacking. Look at that, robberies. I think this young lady got robbed. I really do. She let her guard down, living her best life. And I'm not blaming the victim. I don't want people saying, I'm not blaming her. We do these stories so that we can take precautions and we can learn from them and hopefully save someone else's life and share these people's stories, because I'm sure her family would want us to know and hopefully save other people out there if people are considering traveling, that they know they want to take more safety measures. Now, do not physically resist any robbery attempts. Do not use public ATMs. This is another thing you have to be very cautious when you go to these foreign countries, is be careful about using the ATMs. You become a target. People are watching you. You don't know who's watching you. And you already stand out because of you looking like an American. So they're already looking at you with dollar signs. And now you're walking up to an ATM. It's just dangerous. Do not display signs of wealth. This is something Cookie brought up, such as wearing expensive watches or jewelry, and avoid using mobile devices in public. This is something I was told too when I went to Africa, is to never use my phone in public, because a lot of times in these foreign countries, they snatch your phone. So I wouldn't recommend, if you go to a foreign country, to have your phone out. Like usually in the US, we can walk around with our phones and be immersed in our phone. You can't do that in foreign countries because they snatch phones over there. Even if you're sitting in a car and the window's down and you got your phone, they will reach out into the car, y'all, and take that phone. So don't just, if you go in a foreign country, keep your phone locked somewhere. If you're in the public, don't pull it out because you become a target. And that's also in this travel advisory that's letting you know, don't use it in public. Okay. Now, this is the thing I was telling you about doing. Enroll in the Smart Travelers Enrollment Program STEP. This is something I was telling you. It's an app that you can enroll in to receive alerts while in a foreign country. And it makes it easy to locate you in emergency. So I recommend you guys put this on look at this and enroll in this if you travel. It's called the Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. It's called STEP. That's what I did when I traveled to Africa. Whenever you go to a different country, enroll in that and let them know where you're going, what your trip is, how long your trip's going to be, what are the dates that you're going to be there, what hotel you're going to be at, and so forth, because you will get alerts from the STEP database or whatever, the website, whatever. They will let you know if there's anything dangerous that you need to look out for. anytime I travel out the country, I always enroll in that before I even leave. So make sure that's a part of your plans when you travel next time. And also they say follow the Department of State on Facebook and Twitter. So you guys should be following the Department of State on Facebook and Twitter if you're traveling out the countries, and review the country security report. They said for Guatemala, but you should be reviewing the country security report for any country that you travel to. Prepare a contingency plan for emergency situations. So review the traveler's checklist. That's another thing. I like this list because this is actually a list that you should be following for any time you travel. You should be looking at the traveler's list for any country you go. They have a traveler's checklist. I actually looked at the traveler's checklist when I went to Africa. So they had one. I studied that list before I left. I did all my homework. I did all kinds of research, weeks of research before I even went there. That's something you should be doing when you leave, because you're taking a huge risk anytime you travel. And they also say visit the CDC page for the latest travel health information related to your travel. That's also something you should be doing no matter what country you go to. Now, these are some other locations that were dangerous there. There's a level 4 for San Marcos, do not travel. And that I cannot say that name, y'all. Y'all see it. Do not travel. And then there's the Zone 18. So I really wanted to go over that, guys, with you, because a lot of times when we go over these stories, we don't look at the travel advisories. So you can see how alarming that is just looking at the travel advisory. I highly doubt this beautiful young lady even checks, because her guard was down. She went last year. She came out alive, luckily. Okay. So then when she went this year, she even lowered her guard even more because she felt familiar with the area and she felt safe. But things change each time you go somewhere. You don't know the environment. You don't know the level of crime. Crime could have even got higher this time around, because you notice this travel advisory was updated just this year, July. Let's check this out. She just went in October, right? But see, I don't think she checked this travel advisory, because look when it updated. It updated to a level 3, July 17th, 2023. Okay. So if she had checked, she probably would have checked the travel. If she even did, because I tell you, most time people don't even check this. But if she did check, she probably checked last year, and it was a better status last year. So she probably didn't even think to check this year. And since July of this year, it has updated to a reconsider level, a level 3. So you have to understand, even if you travel somewhere before, things change in these environments. As you see in this situation, things changed in July of this year. I don't know what it was earlier this year before July, but I'm saying things are different each time you go there. So you always have to do a fresh search of the travel advisory every time you go somewhere. Even if you've been to, I don't care if you've been, let me think of some random place. I don't care if you've been to Japan 10 times, okay? You still want to check the travel advisory before you even book your flight. And then you want to check it before you even get on the flight, because again, things are changing by the minute. Sometimes you might have booked your flight in March and your trip is in July. But if a travel advisory updates in July and you didn't check, well, now you don't know what's going on. What if some new thing happened in that area that's made a more significant risk, and you don't know because you checked in March when you booked your flight, but you didn't check when you left that day? I would still check. I would always be checking that travel advisory, even when I'm there, because things can change while you're on your trip. The U.S. may get some information and say, "Oh no, it's a do not travel." So if I see that and I'm in another country, I'm going to change my flight and I'm getting out of there. Okay, so these things change by the day, by the week, by the month. So that's why I wanted to share this with you guys, because I love all of y'all, and y'all know we talk about these stories so that we can hopefully save a life. We can talk to our families and friends about it, and we can be safe. Now, Cookie said, "Oh no, how horrible. Her family can't even look for her without traveling thousands of miles away." That's the scary part about it too. Imagine they can't even travel to the country to find her. And they have to do and they're having this, it's very expensive because they have to do a GoFundMe to even hire investigators there. Alicia says, hi, Alicia. Alicia says the helicopter company is going to drain the family dry. Oh my goodness, y'all. Alicia, girl, you ain't never lied. That's exactly the truth. They are going to drain this young lady's family dry. Mm-mm-mm. And then she's got the other people that are having to do they're paying the divers. That's going to be money. Now, Alicia says unsolved is better than unalive for them to get more tourists. Exactly, Alicia. Exactly. Girl. Exactly, Alicia. You said it, girl. It's better for her to be better for it to be a mystery than to really announce that this girl was robbed and unalive, which is what I'm sad to suspect might have, unfortunately. I wish it didn't happen, but I'm just saying, y'all. And if that happened, that's why no one is speaking. And that's why it's going to deter if there's even, and you already heard the officers don't have resources out there as it is. That's why there's less arrests out there. Okay. So with that being said, do you think the Guatemala authorities are really, really, really putting all their effort into finding this girl, y'all? Do y'all really think that? I highly doubt it. Now look what Mars said, girl. Mars said it. Guatemala is not safe. Now, why would this young lady go to Guatemala all by herself and with these people on this trip that she doesn't know? Because I highly doubt she checked the travel advisory, y'all. I highly doubt. That's why I'm saying if you're going to travel, do your research. Oh, yeah, Alicia, I'm with you on this one. I heard about that one, about the girl who traveled to Dubai. Have y'all heard about that girl who traveled to Dubai? Another concern about traveling to these foreign countries is you have to research the laws there. And you have to research what they consider to be a crime, because some of their crimes are different from what the crimes we see in America. And you don't have the constitutional rights that America has. So this young lady went to Dubai in another story, and all she did was, I guess she yelled back at a man at that, it was like a rental place, because he was going to keep her, I guess he kept her ID or something he did. And she yelled back at him, and she ended up going to jail for that. And she was in jail for months because I guess women can't yell at men or something in Dubai. So that's a problem. When you do go to foreign countries, research their criminal law. I know it's a lot of work. You're saying, oh my God, I got to do all this just to go out of the country. Yes, because their laws are different. They're not like the US. A lot of times we go with we think we have our privilege in these other countries. You don't. You do not. You're in their territory. So you got to research the laws, what are prohibited, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Look what happened to that what's her name? That lady Grinder. Is that her name? Brittany Grinder or whatever her name was. She went there with some liquid marijuana or whatever in Russia and almost was going to serve a life sentence over that. Almost. She got lucky. She's back here, but I'm just saying, you got to research the crime out there to see what the laws say regarding what's prohibited and what's not, and do your research. Really do your research. Okay, guys. Now, I know I talked your ears off. I haven't seen anybody say anything else about this case. I don't know. Y'all got anything else to say about this? If not, we're going to go ahead and close out the live. I just wanted to get on here and talk to y'all about this because I'm really worried about some of my beautiful family out there, viewers that go and travel blindly, not realizing the dangers that lurk behind traveling. And I pray that this young lady gets found somehow. I pray to God that she's found. If not, I pray whatever happened to her gets exposed quickly and that the family does not have to suffer decades like Natalie Holloway's family to try to find out what happened to her, y'all. I just pray it's not going to be that situation. Oh, EB says, my 30-year-old niece is going on a cruise to Jamaica. Do you think that it's a safety concern? Let's take a look. That's a good question. Now, Jamaica has some dangers too over there. But let's see what the travel advisory says. I would say check out the travel advisory for Jamaica to do your research. Where is the particular place that you're going? Jamaica does have some safety concerns. It is in the yellow. So it's a level 3 reconsider travel. So you want to have your you want to have her do you guys need to really study this travel advisory because it's in the yellow. It's not safe to really travel to Jamaica, to be honest. But if you're gonna go, you should you could get a certified tour guide that knows the area really well, and make sure you research the place that she goes. But honestly, she's already going at a risk because Jamaica is not safe right now. It's a level 3. It updated May 10th, 2023. They just updated it to a level 3. There's a lot of violent crimes over there, such as home invasions, armed robberies, sexual assaults. I know that's very heavy over there. Homicides are common. But again, if she goes, just make sure you check the particular place she goes. I would recommend she get a tour guide. And don't go to these places that are on here that are saying do not travel, like St. James Parish, Montego Bay, Kingston. These areas over here, they're saying do not go to those areas. So if she goes, just know she's going at her risk, and she needs to really be careful over there. I'm just saying, because they're saying they're basically telling you should reconsider going there, period. But if you're gonna go, read thoroughly through all the precautions that they're telling you to do. They're telling you to avoid public buses, avoid secluded places, avoid walking or driving at night. And that should be in all foreign countries. Do not be out at night. Just saying. Okay. Do not attempt to bring firearms or ammunition. All these different things they got on here. Have her do that. I don't know. Jamaica don't seem safe to me. I'm just saying. I don't know about wanting to go to Jamaica. That's just me because it just updated in May. But if she want to go, she better really, really, she should get a certified travel guide to talk to her about going to Jamaica. She should. But she's going on a cruise. Oh, I missed the part that she's going on a cruise. That Cookie said, on cruises, stick to the cruise line tours and you're good. Don't go walking off alone. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so she's going on a cruise. Then she should be okay if, like Cookie said, stick to those cruise line tours. But just know, you see the precautions and the warnings about Jamaica. So with that being said, you need to really, really, really have her go over that travel advisory. Try to see if she can connect with some type of certified tour guide over there. And like Cookie said, stick to the certified line tours. And avoid the areas that they said don't go to. Because there's a lot of areas in Jamaica they said do not go there. High crime. Okay. Bold and Black says she always travels alone. This is crazy. Girl, if you want to travel alone, that's you. Do you. I'm not trying to tell you to stop it, but just really, really research, girl. Really, really research. You know, like I said, start with the travel advisory first. Go over all the steps they tell you to do on there. Get you a certified travel guide. And stay out of the areas where they tell you don't go, and don't be out at night, and don't leave your drink unattended. Don't do the public transit over there. You're not a local. Don't do that. And watch your bag to the T. Don't dress flashy. Okay. Amy says, thank you. We'll let her know. Oh, wow. This is so helpful. Oh, yes, girl. Yes, girl. That's the first step you should do. That's what I'm here for. All right. I love you guys. I have talked your ears off enough. Let me know the next story you want to cover. You can always message me anytime. All right. Until next time, have a wonderful Sunday. Take care, my loves.